please note that we will be streaming this meeting. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
There may be when we have the other meeting with the committee.
Yeah, we will. So the other meeting, we will ask again.
Okay.
But it's for the agenda item that we have here. Okay, hearing none. We don't have any public hearings this evening, but we do have a delegation. We have a school council of Sacred Heart School, and is regarding the regulating smoking in exterior areas. So we have someone presenting.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. So I am here to present on behalf of the Sacred Heart School Council some of the school council's parents and children's concerns about smoking around the school area. So a growing number of communities have passed local bylaws that are more restrictive than the Smoke Free Ontario Act that came into effect January 2015. So they've expanded this to include areas prohibiting smoking around public beaches, parks, municipal entranceways, and other municipal properties. And we're here this evening to express concerns about supporting it even further and expanding that. Given the Ontario government's proposed changes to the regulations made under the Smoke Free Ontario Act in 2017, and in response to the changing landscape of smoking now with e-cigarettes and vaping, and with the recent federal government's legalization of cannabis that came into effect on October 17th, there are even more concerns for parents and children in our community and all of our community members being exposed to these different substances. So we are looking at proposing to expand the present bylaw that's in place. The expanded bylaw where smoking will be prohibited with new proposed legislation is looking at public areas within 20 meters or 65.6 feet from the perimeter of grounds of a school or youth or children's recreation center within the hours that the children are present at the daycare or the school area. So of course our community daycares in Espanola are co-located with our schools. So it made perfect sense to create, a community smoke-free zone around the daycares, the rec center, kind of that whole school zone area in our community. The primary public health concerns with respect to the use of tobacco and cannabis in our public spaces are the harms from secondhand tobacco and cannabis smoke, potential harms of exposure of secondhand, as well as concerns about the social normalization of smoking. Tobacco use remains the leading cause of preventable disease and death in Ontario, and so we have concerns around positive role modeling for children, as well as clearing the air. So we applaud the town of Espanola for already taking some very proactive approach in recognizing the effects of the smoking bylaw that currently is in place to regulate smoking in your exterior areas. And in your bylaw, you state that it has been determined that secondhand smoke is a serious health hazard because of its adverse effects and risk to the health of all the inhabitants of the town of Espanola. We certainly applaud council for already recognizing the negative health impacts. And furthermore, in your bylaw, it states that it is desirable for the purpose of promoting and protecting the health, safety, and welfare of its inhabitants of the town of Espanola to ensure the municipal properties include playing fields, playgrounds, municipal buildings, and that those areas are free of smoke and secondhand smoke. As the elected officials of our community, we encourage the mayor and council to continue taking a proactive role and providing leadership in promoting and encouraging a tobacco-free lifestyle for our children and youth, as well as the residents and our residents young at heart. So all of us deserve to have fresh, clean air. So there are three basic proposals that we're here to make. One is that we're proposing that you consider restricting the areas for smoking in the public to expand, including a 25-meter or an 82 feet around the perimeters of our local schools and daycares, just to allow a greater area around to be able to walk and access the daycares and the youth centers and the schools. The second proposal is that the same distance of the 25 meters or 82 feet be implemented for a consistent radius within any other public spaces within the town of Espanola, such as the recreation complex and parks, as well as create these smoke-free zones within our community where it's reasonable and appropriate. The third is that smoke-free areas be expanded to all municipal walkways, which supports a smoke-free walk to school for our children and youth. This evening, I do have a few delegations here that the children, they would like to come and make a few comments. So if I may, ask them to join me. They all have a few things to say about smoking around their school. Gabby, did you want to come up first?
If you have asthma, you can choke and you can fall to the ground.
Adele, do you want to come up and tell us?
I'll come up with you.
No? Okay. Roxanne, would you like to come? Okay, sure. So Roxanne wants to come. So these are all walkers in our community. So these kids walk to school every day, to and from school, and sometimes they maybe feel a little bit intimidated around the smokers that are congregating in the area. And so Roxanne, tell us, why do you want to have a smoke-free walk around your school?
So we can live a longer life.
Very good. And Adele, did you have anything to say about why smoking is bad? Tell them why smoking is bad.
Because your lungs get black. You can get cancer and die.
So we all have a responsibility in our community to lead by example and demonstrate to all of its members, from the young to the young at heart, that we care about our community and the health of our community, and we want to support and promote to have healthy air for our community. We thank you very much for listening to our delegation on behalf of the School Council of Sacred Heart.
Well, thank you for coming this evening. I think what I'm going to do with your proposal is pass that on to our community services to start a discussion about that. So we'll ask that be on the next community services agenda.
Thank you.
Yes.
Could we also ask that her presentation be forwarded to them as well?
It will be part of the information background
Thank
that
you.
we have in our agenda that we forward. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I am going to ask for consensus from council that we change the order of our agenda items. I've consulted with our procedure bylaw, and it just requires a consensus with council to change the order. And the reason is, what I would like to do is take our special meeting of council that's to occur after this meeting and insert it right now. We have some timeline problematics with getting the solicitor client advice. So we'd like to take that special meeting of council, move it to now, and then we'll continue with our regular agenda afterwards. So I'm looking for a consensus from the council to do that. Okay, that's fine. Ken? Okay, so what we're going to do is we need a motion to go into camera. So I will ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest for the items in camera. Okay, and that's for item one. Okay, thank you.
So, yeah.
That's fine, okay. So I'll read the resolution to go into camera, and then we will actually move in a second there. We will go into camera under the authority of section 26.1.3 of bylaw number 2062-08, that council goes into an in-camera session for the purpose stated in section 239.2 of the Municipal Act. Advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and a proposed or pending acquisition to the disposition of land by the municipality or local board. Need a mover and seconder? Yeah, I will do that. Mover and seconder? Okay, so moved by Councillor Hayden. And seconder? Councillor Foster. And what we are going to do, rather than have the council chambers clear out, we are actually gonna go downstairs, and meet later, so you can stay here, and we will come back up and resume the meeting as soon as we're done our in-camera portion. All in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Thank you, and it is 7:40.